looking forward, apparently, to total domination for Napoleonic France. Read 21st century Chelsea. Bear with us just a bit here.
Yes, Steve, because there are lots of talk today about the club bossing the football world for the next 100 years. It comes from Blues owner Roman Abramovich. He probably only feels able to make confident predictions like that because of enigmatic team manager Jose Mourinho. This does make sense, I promise you.
It goes.
One of them rose from nowhere to dominate Europe. He was a flawed genius who inspired fanatical devotion amongst his men.
The other rose from nowhere and will probably dominate Europe for years to come. He's a flawed genius, although don't say that to his face, and he definitely inspires fanatical devotion among his men.
Head to head, this is how they compare.
Napoleon.
1793 to 1815.
Played 30, won 19, drew 5, lost 6.
Mourinho.
This season,
Played 12, won 11, lost 0, drawn 1. What goes on, went on in their heads.
Amen, and a veil in them was very loose and surprised.
And
Wir prop players, I'm sorry if I'm arrogant, we have a top manager.
then what really goes on, went on in their heads.
Men of genius are meteors, intended to burn the light to the city.
And
The moral story is not to listen to those who tell you not to play the violin, but stick to the tambourine.
And, they both like overcoats. Oh, that's an appalling accent. Well, we're joined now by Toby Brown from CFCnet, the Chelsea fans' website. Hello there.
Hello.
And by Mick Dennis, football correspondent for The Express.
Hello.
Hello. And of course, Pat Nevin, a former Chelsea player, joins us from Edinburgh. Hello there, Pat. First to you, Mick. Now, these words, do they just send a
link I've ever followed.
We're doing the compare and contrast in just a second, but
You're not alone.
do these words just send a shiver up your spine?
Yeah, they do, man. I mean, if I took them seriously, they would. I think that you know, they have echoes of the 1,000-year Reich in my mind, because I think Chelsea are the dark side of football at the moment, and it would be fairly appalling if this man who just flew over Chelsea and said, "I'll have that one," and this by a whim has distorted British football and European football. If that distortion were to carry on for a century, it would be appalling.
But Toby, surely he's already invested so much money into Chelsea. He simply has to learn to lay down a long-term strategy, and that's all he's doing.
Well, a lot of the spending so far has been to catch up with Arsenal and Manchester United, because, as everyone knows, we're a short way behind them. But I mean, what he's doing is no different to what's happened in Italy for many years with your Berlusconis, and you know, Inter Milan have spent equal money to Chelsea, or you know, maybe even a bit more, and haven't had the sustained success. I mean, what the plan is now is, you know, get some young players in, build up the academy. Let's have some young players coming through, the John Terrys every season. Right. You know, let's get a good English base, and let's, you know, give something back to English football.
Pat, when you look upon this, do you see a different era of Chelsea? Are you glad you played for them when you did, or would you like to be playing for them now?
I think I'm probably glad I played them when I did, because I don't think a sniff of a game now. They're just far too good. They are actually quite incredible. It's interesting to see these quotes, the way they've been taken just now. I mean, Abramovich is talking about, you know, this 100 years. I mean, what do you get for the man who's got absolutely everything, you know? And Abramovich, he has got everything. He's got the yachts, he's got the houses, you name it, he's got everything. So apart from a new razor, which he obviously needs, I think possibly the only thing he really needs just now, or is looking for, is immortality. And last time I looked, I don't think you can buy immortality, even if you've got 12 billion.
Yeah, but there is this sense, Pat, that everywhere you go in the world, very wealthy men, and it is men, buy football teams.
Yeah, I suppose if you've got the riches or creases, you can do whatever you fancy with a football club. But the scary thing, I suppose, I mean, I don't see Chelsea as a dark side quite the same way as Nick does, but I wouldn't do, being Chelsea-minded myself. But if you've got, you know, I mean, the figure was £12 billion people were talking about, I mean, he's hardly scratched the surface of that, and he's already talking about it, and sensibly talking about sort of world domination of football for a little while. If that's your love and that's your passion, and that's how you get your kicks, because you can try anything. And I suppose there is nothing else. The strange thing about him is most of these chaps that come in to try and do this, they're on a bit of an ego trip. It doesn't seem like that for him, because quotes from Mr. Abramovich are as, well, a bit as rare as Chelsea defeats these days.
That, I mean, that's one of my complaints, that this is a man who's distorted football, and this is the first quote, I think, in 2.5 years, and it comes in the foreword of a book, so I don't imagine he even said it, you know, this is somebody who's written it for him. So when they're involved in a controversy like the Ashley Cole dispute, we don't see anything from the man whose money has done it, we just see Bruce Buck, who's got one share. And it's about time that Abramovich did answer some questions about his, you know, about what he's done and how he intends to sustain it. When my friend talks about academies and finding another John Terry, that won't sustain. The only thing that's given them their advantage over the rest is Abramovich's money. So I'm encouraged by the fact that when he goes, naturally or unnaturally, this won't last. And your analogy with Bonaparte is right. He was brought down by his own overweening arrogance, and that's what happened to Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, you've also got a situation where that amount of money is actually creating lots of frustrated players. You've got Kudicini, Goodjohnson, you know, they're on the bench and these are top players.
Well, Kudicini just said he wants to sign a new deal, and Crespo, who's not playing, came out last week and said how happy he is. So the discontent isn't actually there as much as the press would have you believe. There is a lot being written about Chelsea, and a lot of it in the negative aspects at the moment, and I understand it seems to be sort of fashionable to do so at the moment. But, you know...
I did it long before it was fashionable.
As have many others. But, you know, we are making good progress in a lot of good areas. You saw the England team play the other week. You know, we provided 4 players for the bulk of the team.
Only one of whom you produced yourself, the other you just bought.
True say, but look, you know, on the other side of the coin, you look at Arsenal, the last few matches they played haven't fielded a single Englishman.
No, I'm not here to defend Arsenal.
And they've also got this new youth development, head of youth development, who's actually, you know, developing young players.
Who they also talked into breaking his contract with Tottenham, yeah.
Right. No, I mean, we get the difference on the sofa. Let me go back to a man who's travelled the world for sport, really. Pat, do you think other countries would look at us and think it's a bit odd to knock a successful team, even if money has played a part in it, or especially if money's played a part in it?
I think if, I mean, the example I would look to is probably Real Madrid, because they've tried the world domination route as well, and they've spent huge sums of money, but the strange thing is they haven't managed to continually do it, because what you have to do is you have to have a man at the helm, and it's usually the manager, and stick with him and make sure you've got the best man. Real Madrid have chopped and changed over the years, so they haven't been able to do it consistently, and people in their country get fed up with them as well. Barca fans hate them, obviously, and most of the rest of the Spanish football do too. But you do need to have that top man, a good man at the helm, and that's the one thing that Abramovich and his people have done. They've brought Jose Mourinho in, and he is absolutely fantastic. The difficulty is he has to stay, you know, and he has to stay focused, and he has to stay hungry. It's difficult to stay hungry if you've been eating off the top table for 5 or 10 years, and we've noticed that in every form of life. So that's a very important thing for them to keep on going. I don't think they'll give a monkeys what the rest of football in England thinks. They don't care. Winners are always hated. You know, look at Manchester United during their dynasty. They were disliked by all their fans, and look at the dynasty that Liverpool before them. You know, they weren't vastly popular with other fans as well.
Okay, Pat, Toby and Mick, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers.
Stay apart as you leave. Now it's just